You're listening to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Todd and his three sons, Kellen, Garrett, and Gannon.
Welcome back to the 103rd episode of the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. I'd like to welcome back all of our friends, our family, and yes, even those foes we have, they keep climbing. I am Todd Foxx, along with Kellen and Garrett, my two oldest sons, and their uncle and my brother-in-law, Clay Banch McDonald. Again, we're the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. Gannon should be on a plane right now, I think, heading back to see us here very soon. We'll see him tomorrow, and then Kellen will be flying in. Kellen will be like, almost 12 hours from now you'll be here. It's crazy.
About 13, I think, which is crazy.
It is crazy. So very nice. Well, Garrett's back, so hopefully the views will get bigger. Views kind of take a little hit when Garrett. It makes me wonder if he watches it 1,000 times and makes the views high when he's there. Maybe.
Oh, most definitely. He told me he stopped watching in the middle of it just because he didn't want to give us the view.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid little jerk. Anyway, just kidding. So Oklahoma, we're gonna dive into a lot of Oklahoma sports today. But first off, obviously the 31-24 victory over BYU. Crazy game. Once again, nerves out of control. So Clay, what were your thoughts? Concerns coming out of the game? Anything?
Yeah, I didn't watch the game.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. What are you talking about?
No. Man, I think it just solidifies how we've been the last 2 years. And I think the only difference is last year that we always kept saying, man, there's 4 or 5 games that, man, just to play here or play there, we'd been 10-2, 9-2 at the end of the year, but we weren't because of a few dumb mistakes. And so we're making some of those plays. It's crazy how we're like number one in the nation in interceptions and like almost dead last when it comes to sacks. And that usually correlates pretty well. So that's to me, one of the weirder stats. But just, I don't know, players are just not, I don't know. It was the most craziest game. Like, I just kept thinking, we're going to lose this game. BYU has some of the worst statistics in the NCAA, especially like on defense.
Right.
And we couldn't we did some things, but then we couldn't stop them. Their run offense was like in the bottom half of the Big 12, and they were just sticking it down our throats. And I know we still have some injuries and people aren't playing as well. And I think one nugget I heard from Brent Venables at halftime, it's because, they did a lot of run RPO and with the quarterback run, and which was killing us. And I heard Brent Venables at halftime when they're interviewing, he said, yeah, they haven't been doing that all year. We weren't expecting that. So we got to make some adjustments. And so the quarterback didn't run much in the second half.
Sure.
But he, I thought we got super lucky on the pick six. Not that it wasn't a great play, but they were like literally gashing us and sticking it down our throats. And then the quarterback decides to throw that ball.
Dumb.
And so that to me was the complete difference in the game besides the turnovers that they created.
Sure. What's crazy is Billy Bowman. I was listening to him after the game. I listened to all of them. He was supposed to blitz on that play, and he saw that guy, that player, all alone. So that's why he decided to go over there and had an idea, and then he picked it off.
That's interesting because I did see the replay because he got out there way late.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What is he doing?" And but that's interesting you say that. I didn't know that.
That is crazy. So, Kellen, Garrett, what are your thoughts so far? We are 9-2 right now, so first time we've ever beaten BYU. Thank goodness.
It was a little scary. Just I mean, watching it, I was a little scared, especially like you said, when they were driving down the field, I was like, this is going to end it. But when we got the pick 6 on the goal line, I was like, all right, at this point. But we had 21 points off turnovers. So it's like our offense, granted, Dillon Gabriel got hurt. I would hope Jackson Arnold will do a little more, but it's just still, again, our defense just carries this team. And it's crazy that it was the opposite for so many years. Like, there's not a lot I wouldn't do to have this defense, like with Baker, Kyler, Jalen, any of them. But we'll see. I mean, I think it's just going to be a glimpse of the future with Brent Venables. So
yeah.
Still got to find a new kicker.
Oh my goodness,
Zach Schmidt.
100%.
At this point, you putting him in there, like, his confidence is shot. Whether you take him in or keep him in there, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't understand why we don't just make the switch now, because it's not like it can really get much worse, to be honest.
I agree.
Then just special teams in general, man. Like Gavin Freeman, you got to get him off of the punt return. I don't care if you have Stoops call a fair catch every time. I don't care if you have, I know Billy Bowman's a really good returner. Like, if you have to have a star back there, so be it. Like CeeDee Lamb used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Mims used to do it. So I don't know why all of a sudden we're putting our 4th or 5th string receiver who for some reason just can't track the ball on a punt return. Right. But other than that, I mean, Kellen mentioned Arnold. All Arnold has to do is hit that one pass to Nick Anderson that's wide open, which he should have.
Right.
And then it's a completely different game, but also just his stats look way better. He would have been 6-9 for probably close to 100 yards and a touchdown. Like, that's pretty solid. So he did. I don't know if you guys heard it. You probably did. But on that pretty much game sealing 3rd down conversion to Farouk, Arnold audibled to that.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be a run, I guess, or maybe just a different play. But having a freshman that confident in that environment late game to just sit there and trust his gut and his receiver and put that thing on the spot, because that defensive back was on Farouk's back. So
yeah, he was.
That was not a tight window. And then he got drilled in the neck, but
yeah. Well, they were talking about on the Sports Animal. They were talking about, originally, before they knew that he audibled out of it. Hey, all the fans that say that, Levy's too conservative, they can't say that this week. And then all of a sudden it comes across Gibson's the one who mentioned it in a press conference. And they did ask Jackson Arnold about it later on. And they didn't say what he audibled out of. Most likely, I guarantee it was a run. That's just my thoughts. But it was a perfect pass, help us run that clock out. And to your point, like if he hits that big bomb, I think he's probably just got a little excited and overthrew it. But then again, like when's the last time we saw an OU receiver get overthrown? Because it's been a while. Because I mean, I love Dillon Gabriel, but he doesn't have that.
True. I think he was just surprised. I mean, that guy was 5 yards behind him.
Oh, yes.
But I will say though, I would rather him obviously overthrow than underthrow.
Yeah, sure, 100%.
But you see all the time in the NFL too, when a guy's that wide open, they just throw it to where they're standing and to make sure they catch it, and then they're down right there. Like I would rather take a shot and let the receiver have a chance to run after the catch for a touchdown. Like I hate whenever they're just so conservative. They're like, man, he's so open. I just got to make sure he gets this.
Well, it's like last night. I mean, we won't go into the NFL, but Mahomes throws the deep ball, and like, what is it? I don't know how you say that guy's name.
Valdes-Scantling. That was a perfect ball.
It was a beautiful ball, and you got to make that catch. And same thing, Nick Anderson wide open. He catches it, game over. But to your point, he would have had a lot more stats because he ended up with 5 for 9 for 33 yards. So, but the thing is, what do you guys' gut reaction tell you? Because I mean, you got a one less day of preparation this week. Games on Friday, Black Friday instead of Saturday. Gabriel playing or not? What are your thoughts?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. And if the first quarter kind of looking a little woozy, he'll be fine. And I think too, the way we've been playing the last couple of weeks, I think we're going to see a lot more rushing attempts. Because Sawchuk's kind of ran away with the starting role, averaged 7.5 this game, which is very nice. So I think we'll see a lot more rushing
Oh, yeah.
unless we get behind. But I don't see that happening.
Clay, do you think he's playing?
Man, I've seen things seems like everything on social media says he's playing. Sports Animal today said he was not.
That's what I think. I don't think he's playing.
So I don't know. I
didn't even hear Sports Animal say that, but I don't think he's going to play. I think Brent Venables came out and said it as, just to say it, gamesmanship. So they have to practice for him or whatever it might be. But I don't think he's going to play, and that's going to stink. But it will be nice to see Jackson Arnold, what he can do, because he can run too, and with Sawchuk. But then we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yes, he can run, but like you ran it 8 times in one half. Like that's too much. You got to
100%. Yeah.
Make sure they're kind of. I get it does make them on their toes when you do it a lot, but I don't know. He's a big body, but he did take a couple shots.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what,
and I don't really like that.
We can't get him hurt because we don't have anybody behind him. If Gabriel doesn't play, we have nobody behind him. It's not going to be Davis Bevel, which probably who it would be, and that guy can't play, unfortunately. I know he may watch, but sorry, Davis, but you just not very good. So anyway, no, I'm concerned because I don't think he'll play, and we'll see how that all entails. I think we'll obviously go into the game, try to be conservative, try to run the football, do a little play action possibly. But here's what I would do. I'd let him rip. I'd let it rip. Let him go for it, see what happens. Because he's going to have, most likely he's the guy next year when we jump into the SEC. Just let him rip. Let him throw it, 30, 32 times, this game. See what he can do. That's what I would do. Take off the diapers or whatever you want to say. And give him the keys and just let him get out there and make it happen. Because it's not going to get any worse. We're 9-2. We could get. You could lose 9-3, but here's the thing: we have to have a lot to even happen in order for us to get into the Big 12 championship. Between Texas playing Texas Tech and then Oklahoma State playing BYU, I don't know. After BYU played that game, I'm like, man, they might be able to beat Oklahoma State if it were in Utah. But since it's in Stillwater, I'm having a thoughts that that OSU will probably win that one, and I could see Texas. Honestly, I could see Texas getting beat. I really could, but I just don't know, man. But what happens if K-State keeps winning? Do we? And let's say one of those two drop, either Oklahoma State or Texas. Are we automatically in if we win?
Yeah.
Are we?
K-State would have to have all 3 to lose. Not all 3. 2 of the 3.
Really?
Huh. We hold the tiebreaker over K-State because of our win over Texas.
Okay. I was just curious because I know they got beat by Kansas or they got beat by both of those.
Yeah, they did. I think
they
it would have to be
Texas.
all 3 of them.
They had that game all right. I think whatever. I don't want to get into that. It's ridiculous. But I know those 3 BYU turnovers obviously completely changed the game. Gabriel was 13 for 21 for 191 yards, 2 TDs. So anyway, well, I'm happy. Happy for the win. I couldn't understand how they were just running the ball so well. I think they had 5.7 yards average per run, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I guess a lot of people were saying that the defensive line got ripped, but then Venables said the reason why they rushed for so many yards is the linebackers weren't in the place where they're supposed to be. I don't know if you heard that.
Linebackers
said that.
Terrible.
Who did?
Linebackers.
Yeah. And that's tough. Because I think 2 of our best tacklers that game were Bowman and who was the other one? Defensive back. You don't
Dolby.
You don't want your defensive backs being one of your lead tacklers because that means they're getting behind the linebackers and you're having to tackle them. So.
One thing I loved was the fake punt. One thing I did not like was going 3 and out right after that.
Fake punt. And then who was it?
The fake punt we had to they called a penalty. So
the penalty on what's his name?
You're right. Well, I like the idea. Like you don't see Oklahoma do that very much.
Austin Stogner. And that didn't look like too big of a block in the backwater. I think he would have gotten a first down if Stogner doesn't do that anyway. but it was aggravating, 100%. And then, when the weather's a little bit down, I mean, I guess it looked like a rain to me, but it kind of evens the playing field a little bit because OU's probably a lot more speed than BYU, and seemed like the crowd was really into it consistently. So, but I don't know how many OU fans were there, but it seemed like it was crazy. But I'm just, like I said, I remember BYU. We talked about it last week. Was it the Copper Bowl you said last week, Clay, that we got smoked by him, and then that first game, I guess in Jerry Jones Stadium, when Sam Bradford got knocked out. That's the only 2 times we've ever played him, and they beat us both times. So finally, we got a win against Brigham Young. But I will tell you, going into this game, so here's some stats for TCU. I got a little stat sheet here. So going into it, OU's number 7th in total offense, and TCU's number 14 in total offense. So TCU's got some offense. I mean, OU's number 7 in passing, averaging 315 a game. TCU is number 9 in passing, averaging 309. We're number 39th in the country in rushing at 178 average. They're 75 with 152 average. And then if you go at total defense, we're number 68. They're number 87. We've got 378 yards average given up, and they got 390. So they can pass the ball, which concerns me because it seems like anytime we play a quarterback, they can pass pretty well. Sometimes we have an issue. Any thoughts on the upcoming TCU game, and what's your what you're expecting to see?
I think it's going to be decently high scoring, but I think the pressure on the quarterback on both sides is what's going to probably decide it. Because their quarterback, keep in mind, this is their second stringer. I don't think the starter's injured, but going into the season, I think this is their second stringer.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 8 interceptions already, and he hasn't played like all the games. So that's where we can definitely make him pay, is turning the ball over. So
anyone else? What do you expect?
I'm always expecting turnovers on our side, so that's what's going to win the game. That's what's won all of our games. I'll just continue to expect it. 3 turnovers.
We've got to get pressure on the quarterback. We've got to figure out a way. I don't know. I mean, other than a bowl game and possible Big 12 championship game, this is our last last game of the season, and we still haven't figured it out. With the front four, you know what I mean?
I think the score is going to determine on if Gabriel plays or not.
I agree 100%. It's kind of hard to predict, isn't it?
Yeah, if Arnold plays, I think they're going to be fairly conservative.
More conservative.
Play calling. But if Gabriel plays, I think they'll just go back to normal and be in a home game. I think it's a massive advantage.
But I think on the flip side, TCU is going to be very aggressive on defense. And like we've said, Arnold's got a freaking cannon on him.
Yeah,
and I take Jaden Gibson and Nick Anderson one-on-one 50 yards down the field over anyone else. So I think that's where we'll definitely see, if Arnold's in, they're going to try and pressure him, make him make a freshman mistake. And that's where I will really see if he's, actually pretty good. And I'm not going to just base off of this game, but he can put that thing 60, 65 yards down the field. And I know TCU knows that, but it's kind of hard to game plan for when you're used to Gabriel about 40, 45.
Clay, who was it that said something about Gabriel? Was it just a hunch, or do they know something? Do you know?
I just saw it on social media.
Really? Man, that's gonna be rough. Because it's one less day. And then they never have really come out and said what it is, which is obviously shows me that it's probably concussion protocol, because if it wasn't, I think they would say that, wouldn't they? When they say something like it was somebody told me that they saw the bottom of the ticker change from possible concussion of some sorts to upper body injury. I don't know. Did anybody see him after the game? Or during the game on the sidelines or anything, Gabriel?
They showed him video of him walking around hugging his family and stuff like he normally does. And then I've heard that, on the plane, he was just doing normal stuff.
Yeah.
wasn't like in a neck brace or iced or anything like that. But I don't know. Then again, what do you do for a concussion?
How much of it determines if OU says he can play versus like, whatever the protocols are? You know what I mean? Like, I think that if he could, he'd play and coaches would let him play. But I think there's probably some hurdles that he would have to go over since
Right.
you know what I mean? Because again, I've never ever heard it was officially a concussion at all.
I haven't either.
Were you going to say something, Garrett?
No, I do think not saying a concussion or like them not coming out and saying it's a concussion, kind of protects them for if they do play him
100%.
and something happens. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%.
Last thing you want is to be like, yeah, he's in concussion protocol. Right. Force him in there Friday. He gets another one. And
And I don't want that. I mean, like I said, I'd rather get Arnold in there. And the only unfortunate thing is probably a much more conservative game plan. But from my angle, I'd be ticked off about it. But then again, they know more about it than I do. Like they know what Arnold can do, what he can't do. And obviously, I'm sure TCU would be prepared for it just in case and try to mix him up a little bit, different coverages, whatever it might be, and confuse him. But as long as Sawchuck can run that football, I'm looking for over under. Like if we run it, let's say we run it for 185 yards, do we win? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm thinking 185 yards, 100, I'd say 185. We can run for 185 and not like the first quarter Sawchuck runs for 70, because then you don't have to get very much after that. I'm just saying, like, I think we can do that. I think we got a good shot at winning, but we've got to make sure we don't turn the ball over. That's what got us against Kansas and got us against Oklahoma State was turning the ball over. We don't turn the ball over. I like our chances. I really do. Well, any predictions? You guys want to do any predictions yet, or is it a little too early for you? Because it's hard to predict.
And in my opinion,
Gabriel,
I think we score more with Arnold than Gabriel.
Really?
I think Arnold's a bigger risk taker, and he might get a pick, but I think you're going to see a lot more big plays if he's in there, both on the ground and in the passing game. Because again, with his arm strength, the safeties are going to.
Clay, how do you think it's going to be from TCU standpoint if they do go against Arnold? Not seeing much of him, other than little, his runs he made early in part of the year. What are they going to look at? How difficult is that? What do you think?
I don't know. I think they're just kind of like I think Gary said earlier, just being a freshman quarterback, trying to confuse him as much as possible. But, overall, I think you got to play the same game plan because I don't think OU is going to have much of a different game plan on the plays. Maybe the play calling will be different, but not the game plays. I mean, I think the biggest X factor in the game is that TCU, they got to win to go to a bowl.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
And that concerns me about as much as anything for motivational factor.
True.
I think that would be the first team in the national championship game to not make a bowl the next year.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
And then what do you think, Kellen, what do you think about him with having if hypothetically, because the team probably knows. And my guess is, I don't know the answer to this. My guess is he's taking a lot of first team reps right now because I'm guessing they don't know a whole lot about what Gabriel's going to do. How much does that help him being able to take a lot of first string reps and quite a bit of them this week? What do you think?
How much does it help Arnold?
Yeah.
I think all of it helps. The preparation, especially like he has a better idea than any of us whether he thinks he's starting this week or not. Also, just coming in there knowing there's a chance. Like he came in last week not expecting to touch the ball once at all. So like it kind of changes things. So I think definitely having preparation and expectation that this is a very strong possibility completely changes how he enters that game. And like if I was him and I was in his situation and if I was playing, I'd want to come in there and light it up to get everybody hyped up for next year. I'd want to go in there and go crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, to that point with the transfer portal now, you see if you're thinking about hitting the transfer portal and you're like a star receiver, offensive lineman, whatever it is, and you see this guy, like you said, lighting it up in his first start, you're gonna be like, that's a guy I could catch a ball for.
Yeah.
But also, like you just said, him wasn't expecting to take a snap at BYU. I don't think he would. I think he was mentally probably ready to not take a snap the rest of the year.
That's why I'm pretty sure as well.
Because
they were going to redshirt him. Yeah,
they were going to try and redshirt him. And so I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know if him playing this week messes that up or if this past week messed it up. But either way,
I think it was
he's not going to be able to redshirt, which I've said it before. I'm not worried about because he probably wasn't going to be here then anyways. I understand from the team aspect, just in case, putting that red shirt on.
He's going to play 2 years, and then hypothetically, if he did play his senior, let's say he played his senior year, he wasn't going to play more than 3 years. Start anyway.
He's as good as what everybody says.
He's 100%. If he's the real deal, which I think he will be, I agree 100%. 100%. So we'll see. Clay, you got any thoughts on it?
My guess is we're going to see both quarterbacks play this week.
You think Gabriel?
Yeah, I think we're going to see them both play. I think Gabriel's going to play. They'll bring in Arnold for some things that they saw good because, like you said, he's going to run some first-team reps. And so, he's really good with this grouping right here. He feels comfortable in that. We're going to get him out there now that we burned his red shirt.
Yeah.
If we do get to go to the Big 12 championship, something else to throw at them. If we don't go to the Big 12 championship and Gabriel doesn't play, we may never see him in the Sooners uniform again. He may not play in the bowl game.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct on that for sure. You think there's any shot that Lebby leaves for like a head coaching job? I keep hearing his name mentioned with Mississippi State, but then I also hear other people saying there's no chance he's going to be a head coach next year. I'm not worried.
There's a shot he leaves just because of all the drama earlier this year, because everybody was saying after that he might just leave just out of spite.
Right. Well, I'm not even really. I mean, we got Seth Luttrell, I think, who could step in and be a solid offensive coordinator, hypothetically, if that even happened. But not too worried about it. Garrett, were you going to say something? You look like you're going to say something.
I was just going to say I guess I wouldn't be surprised either way. Like if he leaves, I'm going to be like, that's what you come to Oklahoma as a coordinator, to get a head coaching position. And for the most part, he's done pretty good.
He's fine.
It's not what we're used to. But it wins games. And last year, he's winning essentially so far almost just as many games as Lincoln did. So, can't say much about that. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he did or did not leave to kind of prove again in the SEC with the new quarterback. That's a big opportunity right there.
He's got his guy, and that's where a lot of fans rip him for play calling. And it doesn't matter who the offensive or defense coordinator or head coach, whatever, they're always going to rip. There's always those guys that are going to rip. They're the ones that wear the what do you call it, the what I'm talking about, the t-shirts with no sleeves, real tight ones. That's what those are, those goobers that have a couple teeth in there that make those kind of comments. But my point is, they're going to complain regardless on who the offensive coordinator is. He's been conservative. In my opinion, I think that Gabriel is a good quarterback. I do, but I don't think he does everything that Lebby needs him to do. And I think Jackson Arnold might be that guy that can do it. Throw the ball deep, have a little bit better of an arm. He's obviously, and Gabriel was good at running the football as well. But I just think he'll be able to do more things. Maybe you'll see, maybe not this week, but future, and a little bit of an involvement of the offensive play calling. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I have no idea what people you're talking about, because I have no idea. But
people
going back last year,
like whenever there's a tornado and they
year,
interview those people, those are the people that are making those dumb comments.
They're the same ones calling in on the radio.
I think Lebby's overrated, so I guess I'm one of those guys. I think he needs to get out of here.
I
don't like conservative play calling.
I don't either.
Last year, everybody was wanting freaking Ted Roof's head.
Yeah.
You haven't heard a word about him this year. And you shouldn't, because he's improved this defense. I know we did give a ton of credit to Venables, obviously, but the defensive coordinator plays a factor in that.
He does.
So I think by next year, I think we'll be fine. Again, like you said, we'll always have one of the coordinators or something to complain about, but keep in mind too, this is our receivers coach first year. which I think he's doing a great job recruiting, and it's definitely a huge improvement from last year. But
100%.
you still got to mesh a couple of those guys a little bit, and so
100%. No, I agree. And the thing is that I think the longer Venables helps build this team, I think you're going to see it better with some of these players that he's bringing in. And I'm hoping to goodness that some of these guys, like A&M guys that we were hoping we were going to get, I haven't heard anything, but have you heard anything like with that? What's that guy?
Not necessarily like yet, but everyone knows that we're going to be one of the high targets of these A&M guys. And the three names have my eyes on is David Hicks, who was the #1 defensive lineman last year, who shocked everybody and went to A&M.
Yep.
And then 2 guys for this class, so they'd be freshmen next year. Terry Bussey, like an athlete receiver for next year, 5-star, and Dominic McKinley, a 5-star defensive lineman. So whereas we could get some of the guys in the transfer, we could also get a huge steam on the current coming 100%. Class, which I would love even more, just to kind of get them in there a little bit younger, fresh start, everything like that. Get rid of all the A&M, whatever the heck they got going on over there.
Yeah.
But
I guarantee in the next 4 weeks we get Williams and Winieri.
I hope so.
Man, dude, I wish, but the way they're playing right now,
he may. Yeah, but he wasn't happy on side. But when he announced it, though.
Yeah, but also too, Drinkwitz is connected to A&M, so I mean, you never know.
No, you don't. And to our thousands of listeners that we have, if you know how to kick a football, sign with Oklahoma. Being, we got.
Because we need you, not because we have a good history.
Right.
Because we need.
I got an NIL deal for you. You can come over to the house. We'll cook you some dinner.
I never graduated. Am I still eligible?
You're eligible.
I'll get in there, and I can do just as good as these guys.
I mean, seriously, like we've got to get a kicker through the transfer portal. I don't see why we wouldn't. And again, I'm not bashing on the kid, but he's just lost his confidence and he's lost us. And it's not only him, no, but
it's messed with the momentum in our game.
It's messed with momentum and it's hurt our chances. And it almost hurt us this game too. Because to be honest with you, we should have, if he makes that, we win by 10 for sure. So it is what it is, but it's unfortunate, right? Unfortunate. But any predictions? I know it's kind of hard to do a prediction, but let's make a prediction based on the fact. I mean, either way, whatever you want. I mean, whether or not you think Arnold's playing or if you think Gabriel's playing. Who wants to go first? And what do you got?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to say OU wins 27-24 on a Gabe Schmidt last-second field goal.
What is it, a 20-yarder or what?
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't care either. I don't care. Well, he missed, what was that last week? 27?
27.
I'm going Oklahoma 35-27.
I'm going Oklahoma 45-28. And I think if Arnold plays, he has 300+ offensive yards and 3 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay. I've got OU 33 and TCU 30. And it comes down to a missed field goal to try to ice it from us, and then they go down and we get an interception from little Gentry Williams.
Hopefully he plays.
Hopefully he plays. If he doesn't play, it'll be what's the kid's name?
Peyton Bowen, baby.
You got Peyton Bowen, and then you've got dadgummit, who they were going after him last week. I can see him.
The other freshman?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Number 23 or something like that.
Yeah.
Josiah Wagner.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But that's my prediction. And hopefully it'll go well. I know Kellen, like I said, you'll be here probably within the next 12, 13 hours. We got Thanksgiving coming up. Really excited about that. I know here's just a couple things I gotta ask you guys about some Thanksgiving, okay?
I have one too, real quick.
Go for it.
Well, Clay, what's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving?
My favorite part about Thanksgiving is when I get to give the family the bird.
Way to go, Clay. You must be talking about the turkey.
The turkey.
Oh, yeah. What are you talking about?
All right, so let me ask you this. Would you rather eat turkey every day for the rest of your life or never have potatoes again?
Never have potatoes again.
What?
Would you rather eat turkey
Yeah, but
every
what
day of
kind
the rest
question
of
is
your
it?
life or never have potatoes again?
What kind of potatoes? Any potatoes, like
Any
chips
potato.
and everything?
Any
Okay, I'll eat
chips.
Fries
turkey every single day. It doesn't say how much turkey. I'll take one bite.
100%. I'll take a little bite of turkey.
I'll switch it up. Dark meat one day, white meat the other. Maybe make a little sandwich, a little stew.
Do you guys remember the Black Friday days? Remember those? Like whenever you guys would go out with mom and I would be in bed because
Yeah, when it used to be sacred on Fridays.
yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean? Because you guys used to go out. Did y'all normally go to Walmart? Where'd y'all normally go?
Oh yeah, they had $5 video games. So me and Gary
Yeah.
were just in there just
Well, tell us the little story about the time where Gary had to crawl underneath people.
I mean, there's just a bucket of games. We pretty much had everything we wanted. I think we wanted Amazing Spider-Man or something right there, unless it was a Madden. I can't remember. And I just remember getting Gary down there on his hands and knees, getting in there and getting dirty. And
Well, it used to, now they do a dumb like single file line. Used to, they would just sit there, you'd line up and they tear it off and people would go crazy. And yeah, like Kellen said, it was the Amazing Spider-Man. It was at on the very bottom. And we kind of
like
got out of the
$5.
crowd. We were like, all right, let's, go through what we got. And we started looking. I was like, man, I really wanted that Spider-Man. So I just, like you said, kind of crawled down
we had
in between
everything
people's legs,
Yeah.
snagged it.
because we got thrown off because we got on the wrong line. We were in the line for Tupperware to start the night off. And we're like,
Yeah.
well, this is not where we would need to be. So we had a panic and we got everything but one. The next year we discovered when there was a game, they didn't have the Madden. The Madden was out, and we went to the very back and we got Madden out of the case, and they gave it the same price.
So easy. It was quiet back there for the most part.
Nobody was there. There was
Some
one
lady
dude
was there.
just like on his
Yeah.
phone, like the worker, and we're like, "Hey, can we get this?" He's like, "Yeah." We scanned it. It's Black Friday price.
You're kidding me.
No, we were like,
It's
"Man,
not
we
a
should have been
thing
doing this
anymore
for
though,
years."
people. So don't you try it.
100%.
And nobody
Don't
buys
you try it.
discs anymore either. So.
No, it's unfortunate, right? I know I would be at home because I had to get up early, because I was always real tired and stuff. So, but Callie, it'd be me and Callie, and I think Gannon was with me majority of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it'd be us three in my bed sleeping because you guys were out till who knows when.
I remember one year we
crazy.
got a game, and it was like a horror game, and me, Gary, and Hunter played it. We beat it in like 6 hours. It wasn't supposed to be a long game, and then I went to Sam's to wait in line at 5 a.m. to get a new phone.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to a triple at Lambert's. So I was like, pulled an all-nighter going into a triple.
Yeah.
Awful day.
Yeah, I know Garrett went. You got you and mom's waiting in line once for phone as well. I remember that. They always had a good deal for that. But would you rather stand in line for 3 hours to get a TV for 75% off, or stand in line for 5 minutes to get a TV for 25% off?
Depends on how expensive the TV is. Like, is it like a good old like 70, 80 inch?
It's a good
or-
TV. Yeah.
OLED,
It's a
yeah,
real good
probably
TV.
doing 75.
Yeah,
And it's-
I can wait the 3 hours if I know I'm getting the TV. The fear is when you don't know if you're getting.
You don't know. You're waiting. Yeah, 100%.
But if
I
you
would do the
know-
3 hours.
What'd you say,
What'd you say?
Clay?
I do the 3 hours.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%. That's so funny, man.
I've never been Black Friday shopping. One time in my whole life.
It's a
Never
thrill.
What are you doing on Thursday night?
You guys
I've
are
gone
trying to hit-
Thursday night shopping. I've gone on Thanksgiving.
I mean,
Well,
we did
that's
that
the
too,
that's
but
the new Black Friday.
No, Black
Yeah.
Friday is about to start in a few hours.
Well, yeah, we have deals tomorrow starting at 3:00, and that's when our deals start. I don't know why people don't come in and get the deal. Starting at 3:00 tomorrow at the Westgate Shopping Center, Dick's Sporting Goods.
Once we get
Come
to
see
like
us.
episode 10,000, we're going to be talking about like Black Friday starts on Saturday after Thanksgiving because it's starting for the next year.
Well, episode 1000, I'll be, what is that? Dadgum.
He said 10,000.
Did you say 10,000?
We knock out
Yeah.
about 300 a year. So what's that? That's about what? Like,
I don't know. Figure it out because I don't know if I'll be here for
Okay.
episode
300 a
10,000.
year.
well, I mean,
Yeah, definitely not.
oh, wait, no, I was thinking we did one a day. Oh, we don't do
No.
We
that.
did
that'd
100.
be
Oh,
that'd be
yeah, about
192 years.
Yeah. So our great grandchildren will.
Well, remember
be
we were
enjoying it.
doing the 2 a week, so only about
okay.
90 years.
Not a year. So you guys,
5 years.
yeah, your grandkids will be all right.
You got to keep in mind too, though. Eventually, this is just gonna be all our full-time jobs, Monday through Friday. So we'd be doing 5, sometimes
Sure.
6 during the
And by that time, like,
football
I'm
season.
including the episodes of the Fox verse where we're not even on it. It's kind of the interns running the show on like these little side projects. I'm including that in the 10,000.
In that case,
Hilarious.
I'd give us 5 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we could do an episode a day. That'd be fine with me. Garrett, you weren't on last week, but what are your top 5 you gotta have for Thanksgiving? Food.
And that includes dessert.
And it does include dessert now, but don't include
Anyways,
dessert.
I'll go
one
dressing,
fair. Okay.
cream corn, mashed potatoes, cherry pie, and
You gotta have a little meat.
Boy, he was all confident there, man. Just
well,
throwing
yeah,
it
but
out
that's
there.
I'll go ham. I don't like
100%.
most.
Thank
I don't
you.
like most of the turkey,
100%.
I don't
I
like
agree with you
ham.
100%.
and I love ham. I like ham.
I like ham. Yeah.
I like him.
What? Okay, so let's rank your own personal top 5 pies. Like, what's your favorite pie? Go from top to bottom or bottom top, whatever you want to do.
Pie?
Cherry pie and apple pie is the only one I like.
Well, you're a goober, so
No pecan or pumpkin?
no.
I can kind of do chocolate, like what is it? Just chocolate pecan? Yeah. I don't prefer it. I guess I just wouldn't eat it, honestly.
Yeah.
Has
Exactly.
Gary figured out the plan on the chocolate pecan?
Oh yeah.
He
That
knows.
thing. I'll start eating that thing on Saturday.
He knows.
Mine, I've been on a Taylor's sweet potato pie is insane. So I've been on a sweet potato pie kick. That's my number 1. Chocolate pecan 2, apple 3, pecan 4, cherry 5.
Okay, Clay.
Got pecan 1, pumpkin 2. Never had chocolate pecan, but it sounds pretty good. I'd probably go apple, cherry, blueberry.
Blueberry, interesting.
I want to like blueberry. I just never had a good blueberry pie, but it sounds incredible.
Well, my favorite would be chocolate pecan, and then and pecan, whatever you want to call it.
Chocolate what?
Pecan. I get ready to cough. I'm like all choked up right now when I think about it.
It's like the blah, but just chocolate pecan.
Chocolate pecan.
Chocolate pecan.
Whoa. Chocolate pecan would be number 1, then chocolate pie number 2, apple pie. Dadgum, what's the rest? Probably pumpkin pie, and then I don't even. Oh no, cherry, then pumpkin. Pumpkins last. So those are my favorites, and I love me some Thanksgiving. It'll be fun. Everybody will be together. Clay, I don't know if you guys are going to try to swing over at some point, or we're going to swing over there or whatever sometime, because we got a lot of family in town. What'd you say?
I'll probably drive over there. Not really
Oh, yeah.
one for swinging.
Moving on. I just know I'm looking forward to a lot of good football. A lot of good football.
Gotta reminds me of that chili you're gonna eat.
Yeah. No kidding. All right. So I just want to remind all of our listeners that iron sharpens iron.
Please stay safe.
Be average and not average.
And remember to join the skulk.
And until next time, way to go, Clay.
Thank you.
Good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Boomer.
Center.